brink of glory, Messi on the cusp of bringing to life the dream he's been carrying on his shoulders for 18 sparkling years. The dream shared by the eyes of 45 million Argentinians and his millions of fans around the world. The flame which never seems to flicker, beacons which refuse to fade. Those are the words of the inimitable Peter Drury as he described Argentina along the way to this final. Welcome, everybody, to Christmas Day, the World Cup final, the moment we've been waiting for 4 years. Today, we crown the World Cup champions of 2022. A special day, two amazing teams, two quality teams, and encapsulated by two quality players at the peak of their powers. Lionel Messi, Kylian Mbappe, two players, standout players, probably the winner of this year's Golden Boot and probably the winner of this year's Golden Ball as well. So it's been an amazing tournament. I think what we can all agree on is that this tournament has had more ups, more downs, more moments than we could ever have imagined for. So in this 2022 Cup, we've seen Saudi Arabia beat Argentina. We've seen Morocco make it all the way to the semi-final. We've seen Australia qualify out of the group stages. We've seen Germany knocked out and leave before the end of the group stage once again. And all that has led us here to this final, to this moment, where the romantic in me wants to say Lionel Messi, this is his coronation. This is the moment he's been waiting for. The fairy tale ends here with him holding that little golden trophy. Or Kylian Mbappe, who has been the most electrifying player in this tournament, steps up one more level and takes France to their back-to-back tournament victory. I must say, in this tournament, France have not been spectacular. They've been functional, and the two men at the heart of that was Kylian Mbappe and Antoine Griezmann. So those are the players that I think needs to take a round of applause. Griezmann in his let's say midfield role, because he's been in the midfield for all of this tournament, and Kylian Mbappe, when he stepped up, when he turned on the gas, you knew he is one of the best players in the world. He's at another level to most other players. On the other side, you had Lionel Messi and his Argentinian team that got the scare of their lives against Saudi Arabia, lost the first game, and then from then on, it's been a knockout game after knockout game, picking themselves up against Mexico, getting the job done against Poland, getting the job done against Australia, going through a battle of battles in a heated quarterfinal against the Dutch, and then getting the job very nicely done against the Croatia. They've steadily got to grips with this tournament and steadily improved in this tournament. We couldn't ask for two. You couldn't ask for two contrasting teams. One would fire and fury, the other would pragmatism and functionality. The professionals team of the year is definitely the French. They've not been spectacular in any of their games, but they get the goals and manage the games better than any other team in this tournament. If Brazil had the functionality that the French have, they would be in this final as we speak. If they had the fortitude, the Spanish would be here. If the Portuguese had the mentality to step up and just perform at the same level as the French did, then they would have got past the Moroccans. So what this means is that when they needed to shine in this tournament, the French have stood up. In many ways, their most difficult game was against the English. They controlled a lot of the game, didn't look spectacular. England looked a lot better, especially in that second half. And then the French got their goals and managed the game, thanks to Harry Kane as well. But the French always find a way to get through the tournament. And now we've reached the last game. So in this last game, I just thought it's a fitting end to a magnificent tournament. So I just wanted to go through my team of the tournament. Had a few discussions with some friends, and we disagree on a lot of them, but a lot of them I think we can come to the consensus purely because of the way this tournament has unfolded. In goal, I've gone for Bono from Morocco, and this was a toss-up between Bono and Livakovic. Livakovic was the standout keeper for the Croatians, kept them in the game in a lot of their matches, made some spectacular penalty saves. But Bono got through this tournament being a rock with that Moroccan defense. And they had a lot of difficult games. So first game was against Croatia. Then they had a further difficult game against Belgium, managed to get through the group, come through Spain, and then Portugal. And then in the third place playoff against Croatia again. So that's five quality matches, and Bono has only conceded goals in one of those games. Sorry, they did concede an own goal in against Canada, but up until the match against France in the semi-final, they had not conceded to another team, let's say. So fantastic tournament from Bono. Uh, Heads up and heads up to Livakovic, who was really good. And right back, I think there's no discussion about Ashraf Hakimi. He's been amazing in this tournament. That penalty will stay in our minds forever. Centre back, don't look further than Josko Gvardiol because he was stunning in this tournament. He will probably be remembered for that one moment against Messi, but don't discount the fact the rest of the tournament, this guy was amazing. So that Messi moment in the semi-final, yes, probably counts against, but if you really look at it, he didn't do a lot wrong, except for the fact that Messi just dropped a shoulder at the last minute and got past him around the outside. Unbelievable skill from Messi. Great turn by Guardiola. I've put Ramon Saiz at the other centre back. There's a couple of other people I probably could have considered, including Varane, including Marquinhos. But I went for Saiz because, again, that Moroccan team was amazing, and you could see when he wasn't there for the semi-final, he started and had that injury. It made a difference. It made a difference. He was the rock for that Morocco team. Left back Theo Hernandez was another standout player this tournament after replacing his brother early on in the tournament. Uh, had a couple of wobbly moments, but going forward was brilliant and defensively solid, if not spectacular. He had a terrible time against Bukayo Saka, but he stood up in the rest of the tournament. In midfield, defensive midfield, definitely Sofian Amrabat. He was. There was a joke going around Twitter and a lot of social media where 70% of the world is covered by water and the rest is covered by Amrabat. He has been spectacular, and he will definitely get a move out this season to a bigger club. In midfield, lots of options. I wanted to put Chouameni. I wanted to put a couple of other players, but I had to go for Jude Bellingham. This was his tournament. This was his breakout tournament, and to be that young and to be that composed and that amazing You have to give it to Jude Bellingham. My vote for young player of the tournament will also be Jude Bellingham. I'm not sure where it'll go. Probably Alvarez would have a shout for that, but my money would be on Jude Bellingham. He's been brilliant this tournament. Next to him, I put him in midfield because that's where he played this tournament. I wanted to put him up front, but he was a midfielder in this tournament and really stepped up. Remember that French midfield, he's missing a few key components, and Antoine Griezmann has been easily the top three players in this tournament. I could see him fighting for that golden ball as well because he's been that good between him, Messi, and Mbappe. So Antoine Griezmann, standout tournament, assist for fun, and has been really good in the midfield. Even some tackles, probably should have been sent off in one of those games, but he's been amazing. The two players that I believe will be on the shortlist for the player of the tournament, the Golden Boot, and probably the man of this entire tournament, the man we remember, will be Kylian Mbappe on one side, Lionel Messi on the other side. They really stood out. Kylian Mbappe against the Polish, uh, two moments of magic. And for the rest of the game, Matty Cash really had a good game, but it was just Kylian Mbappe turned it on, and that's how you know world class when you see it. He turned it on, got the goals, took the French through. Messi on the other side stood up in every game that the Argentines needed him, and they needed him from the Mexico game onwards. Mexico, Poland, Australia, the Dutch, and against Croatia. Standout performances, especially against Croatia, against Australia as well, and that assist against the Dutch I think will remain in people's memories for a long time. Wow, the assist against the Dutch, the he went on an excursion with Guardiola, took him around the world, and people will never forget. I don't think so. I don't think people will forget that assist for Alvarez in the semi-final. A World Cup moment, definitely. Up front, the pickings were slim. I was thinking Richarlison, but I think at the end of the day, the man that needs some credit is Olivier Giroud. He has done exactly what he needed to done, and in many ways, he's made this French team better because he has a functional job, bringing players into play, and he is there when he needs to score. And this man steps up. He gets the job done. He's the French leading goal scorer, and he's taking them now to another World Cup final. So he's been in the last two World Cup finals, has the man that nobody gives the credit he probably deserves. He won the World Cup without. I don't think he scored a goal in the last World Cup, but he was so important that he played in every single game. So that tells you how important a striker is that can bring the rest of the team together. And that's why Olivier Giroud, I think, deserves the credit. A few honorable mentions. Julian Alvarez was, once he came into the team, is undroppable now. He will start today's match, I assume, and he is on fire against Croatia. As much as Messi got the man of the match and was spectacular, Julian Alvarez scored two and assisted one. So don't discount Julian Alvarez. He has been phenomenal at this tournament. Man City have got a real gem. In the center of midfield, you could look at Enzo Fernandez. Once he came into the middle of the Argentinian team with with McAllister, there was a lot more control in that team. So Enzo Fernandez, another player who stood up in this tournament, probably another shout for young player of the tournament as well. Another player I really was impressed with this tournament is Rabiot and Tchouaméni in the French midfield. Rabiot mainly because I discounted him at the start of the tournament. The Rabiot you see for club football is not the one you see in international football. He has been immense. Tchouaméni has stepped up and basically replaced Pogba and Kante as one complete player. So you took the defensive part of Kante, and you took the midfield general role of Pogba, and you create Chouameni. Phenomenal. I was just looking at the shape for the team and just thinking, okay, could I leave out Amrabat? Not for this tournament. Could I leave out Bellingham? Possibly. It was a toss-up, but I could not leave out Antoine Griezmann. So it was just between Bellingham and Chouameni for me in that place there in the middle. At the back, I mentioned Varane, and on the right, you can also mention the Croatian right back Juranovic, who was really, really good during this tournament. So that's my team of the tournament. I'm looking forward to this final. Everybody, I think the whole world, you're probably going to get about approximately 4 billion people watching. It's going to be huge. It's probably going to be tense. A lot of fouls, maybe 10 yellows and a red. I was telling one of my friends. So uh, we wait every 4 years for this moment. So everybody, wait for it, watch it, enjoy it, savor it. Magical Messi or Killer Killian. Enjoy.